Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about everyone's favorite topic, productivity. I want to start by saying that I'm not an expert and I don't claim to be a master or guru in productivity. I just want to share my experiences because I believe I've been through my fair share of struggles with productivity over the years. First, let's define productivity. So a lot of people look at productivity as spending a chunk of time doing a specific task like studying, going to class, taking notes, etc. Me personally, I disagree. I believe productivity is the ratio between input and output. According to most dictionaries, productivity is defined as the rate of which goods and services are being pumped out or produced. So to summarize this as a whole, my definition of productivity is producing more by doing less. Now obviously this varies depending on what your goals are. For example, if you want to get good grades and maintain a specific GPA, it's less about how much time you spend getting there and more about how efficient you are with your own time. Hopefully by now you're able to see what I believe to be the two most important parts or aspects of productivity. That is time and energy. And these two components are interdependent of each other. So now let's get to the fun part. How to be more productive. One of the best ways to be more productive, in my opinion, is by understanding the Pareto principle. The Pareto's principle, also known as the 20-80 rule, comes from a famous economist from Italy named Vilfredo Pareto. So Pareto initially observed that 80% of the lands in Italy was owned by 20% of the population. He then looked and explored and found that the same observation applied to many other countries. Essentially, this concept was an observation that most things in life are not always equally distributed. This concept then evolved and was applied in many other areas like time management and productivity. So when I first found this concept, I was very curious and I decided to apply it in my life, and I found that frequently 20% of the input leads to about 80% of the results. One way I measured this was through my academics and my grades at school. Instead of just taking blind notes and reading hundreds of pages from a textbook or spending hours and hours of my day preparing for every single quiz, lab, assessment, assignment, or test, I found that spending a couple minutes before each semester to look at the course outline and understand the grading requirements and distribution between tests, quizzes, assignments, assessments, and labs allowed me to plan a strategic roadmap and set expectations that I could be satisfied with. Other practices I applied included skimming through the textbook or reading material before going to a class, or attempting a couple practice problems consistently every day. This was overall a more efficient way for me to understand, capture, and retain the content material of each lesson better. Additionally, other practices I applied was using concepts like the Cornell note-taking technique to take notes instead of using the blind note-taking technique. It basically forces you to be more intentional with the notes you take. This saves you a lot of time and energy and also forces you to understand the material by filtering out the unnecessary words in your head before writing it down. I also like to pair this with the Feynman technique, which is a technique created by a famous physicist and a Nobel Prize winner. This technique just involves two main stages, which is learning the material and teaching it to someone else. The beauty of this technique is that you have to truly understand the material and then you have to teach it to someone else in such a way that a 6th grader can understand. Just like Albert Einstein's famous quote, if you can't explain it to a 6-year-old, you probably don't understand it yourself. You also might have caught on to the theme here, which is intent. I personally like the concept of intent a lot, and I believe being intentful with my time and energy leads to a more fulfilled and happy life. That's generally why money is so powerful in this day and age, because the more money you have, the more control you have over your time and energy. Anyway, if you want to learn more about these techniques and principles, I will leave a couple videos and resources down below for you to check out. So another big thing I do to be more productive is by building systems. As a data scientist, I'm obviously a massive advocate for automation. I figured since I use this concept of automation daily in my job, why not apply it to my personal life? So I decided to build systems around repeating tasks like creating videos or thumbnails, taking notes or studying, and even going to the gym. By doing this, you're able to reduce the overall difficulty of the task and ultimately overcome the limbic friction associated with it. Now, your systems don't have to be complex like building an algorithm, although if you want, you definitely can. What I recommend is that you start with something small, like writing your to-do list the night before so that you don't have to think about it in the morning. Another thing you can do is allocate time slots to those specific tasks so that you don't have to exert mental energy in planning them the next day. Even better, if you use certain apps like Notion, you are able to automate the system to sync up with your calendar and make the whole process seamless altogether. Speaking of calendars, having a structured calendar can help you save time and energy so that you can be more productive overall. If you have regular tasks that you can expect, such as going to classes, trips, or even going to the gym, go ahead and put that in your calendar so your days are more structured and laid out. Then I would add other things on top of that, such as studying or research ideas for businesses to start, or maybe even schedule an hour a day to apply for internships. If you want some more tips on how to secure an internship, I made a video talking about my experiences and how I secured 8 offers in 3 months. I will leave a link to that video below the like button if you guys want to check that out. On top of that, it's also smart to allocate some time each day to do menial tasks or chores such as folding the laundry or doing the dishes. Don't forget to add a couple things that bring you joy and energy, such as watching TV shows with your partner or going out for a couple drinks with friends or even playing golf. It's important to remember that energy drives your productivity, so it's essential to try and avoid burning out. If you want to optimize your calendar even more, you can go ahead and add coloring labels. Let's keep it simple for now and stick with just 3 colors, red, green, and yellow. Label the activities that bring you joy and energy and that you want to continue doing with green. Then go ahead and label the ones that are kind of meh and that you know you have to keep doing and are tolerable with yellow. Lastly, label the ones that are super draining and do not bring you value with red. At the end of every week, schedule some time to go over this week's calendar events and analyze the colors. You want to make sure your calendar continues to support your short and long-term goals. So go ahead and change the labels if needed and remove the ones that are not beneficial in achieving your goals. But you have to make sure to be rational and keep the bigger picture in mind. Overall, this energy calendar system helps you overcome decision fatigue and can also help you organize your life a little better. This decision fatigue concept is also known as procrastination, but I will talk about that more in a different video. Again, I want to emphasize that in no way am I a productivity guru, but I do believe I've had my fair share of struggles with productivity and procrastination, and I felt like it would be valuable to share my experiences and what has worked for me. I've been much happier and satisfied with my life after applying these concepts and principles. I also think it's important to note that it's okay to not feel productive every single day. If you do feel productive every single day, maybe there's room to improve that we just aren't noticing yet. Being intentional with your time and energy is a life hack that I wish I knew sooner, but thanks to amazing individuals like Ali Abdaal, Alex Hormozi, and Sahil Bloom, I was able to overcome my slumps, figure out what works for me, and share this information with you. If you guys are interested in this topic and want to learn more, I wrote a couple blog posts about it and I'll leave some links down in the description below. If you guys have any questions or thoughts about the topic or want to share your own suggestions or struggles with productivity, feel free to leave a comment down below. Also, I know this video is a little different than our typical videos, but I wanted to introduce these topics on the channel in hopes that it will help others out. So let me know if you guys like this type of content down below. Anyway, as always, thank you guys for watching and I'll see you in the next one.